Welcome, ladies and germs, to the pilot or episode 0 of Tube Talk. This will be a sound-only internet radio show because we are innovating in the year 2025. There will be no visual component outside of maybe a couple things. I have no fucking idea. I need to figure out what the hell I want to do with this thing. So feel free to put this on in the background or throw us in your back pocket. To my right is a brother from another mother in real life. And on the internet, this man is a grade A certified motherfucking masochist. My co-host, guest, and friend, Mr. Notorious Bass.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you, Mark, for having me on this podcast. I'm very excited to be on episode 0, and it's a pleasure to be here, guys. Thank you.
Oh, this is something we've discussed doing at various points, but because life is a motherfucking bitch, we just could not do it.
It's a fucking bitch. He's got that right.
Oh, she's the biggest bitch in the whole wide world. But we got it. We're here. We're doing it. Gaming as you get fucking older. Because, Rob?
Yeah.
It kind of sucks.
Yeah, gaming as you get older is rough. I mean, like, we took for granted a lot of the time, like when we would just come home from school and not have to do shit, not have to, go to work or anything. And now I feel like the only time I could play is late at night, and late at night I'm exhausted, And I'm a night owl.
Yeah, you're a night owl, but you got the job that's like, mentally taxing as shit. It's like we're not going to dox ourselves. We're not that fucking stupid here.
Yeah, but my job is basically it takes a lot of brain power and energy. So, and then you want to come home and play a game, and if you want to play it on like something like a hard difficulty or whatever, it's really difficult, and just keeping that mindset to want to keep going with a game could be tiring, especially if it's a big, broad game. I realize now I can't play open world games.
Dude, I'm so glad you said that because it's like one of my favorite games to actually come out of the last decade is Witcher 3. I love the plot. I love the characters. I love the world. I love the continuation it is of the original novels. Fuck me. It is this daunting thing because of how much shit there is to do. And it's brilliant. It is incredibly well done, well written, well coded, all of this. But it's like, fuck. I don't want to do this.
I know.
It's too long.
I agree.
And I got shit to do.
Think about it. It takes up so much of your time. And I almost feel like in these games, you have to dedicate all your time to that game. And you can't play anything closer. You can't play anything, close to the size of that, or you're not going to finish it.
Exactly. And it's just like frustrating because it's like you go through, I think that game came out when we were in our...
I think it's the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, so that was like early 20s for us.
Yes.
So early 20s. For those of you that are just in your early 20s now, enjoy them while you can. Don't be a complete fucking idiot.
I agree with him.
You got plenty of time. Yeah. Maybe if you're lucky, you got a decent paying part-time job or maybe a full-time job that fucking pays. So you can just piss your money and your time away. You don't give a shit. After you hit 25, it's all downhill from here, kids.
I mean, it is. And one thing I'll say is like I talked about the open world games, but like me, I like playing like more survival horror and stuff. And to me, those games were stuff I grew up with like as a child, like watching my dad play. And I think the hardest part for me now is like memorizing the stuff that I used to remember because you had all that free fucking time as a child. Now, I'm lucky I can remember to put my pants on right.
Yeah, I mean, there's days where it's like, Christ almighty, I have to think to myself, did I remember to change my socks? Do I have clean underwear on? Am I running with a couple days worth of skid marks? But it's like, no, and like for me, it's more of like, it's usually more going back to like the Ocarina of Time, just because it's like one of my favorite games of all time, of course.
Absolutely.
But also because of how immaculately paced it is compared to the pacing of some like modern day games. Like, it just respects your time and doesn't bog you down in bullshit.
Yeah. I think one thing I want to, discuss with this is, like, in this day and age, because, me and Mark are discussing a lot of these games that really captivated us. Like I said, the Resident Evils, the Legends of Zeldas, we had the Final Fantasies, that the stories were just fantastic. But if you look at this day and age, there is such a fucking lack of interesting new titles. It's actually disgusting. And they're all hollow.
This is maybe going to tie into something we talk about later. I'm not entirely sure. But all I'm going to say is if my stupid ass is only hyped for like one game this entire year, and it was a remake, the Snake Eater remake specifically, a game that I own too many copies of in various formats, that I have beaten to death Christ knows how many times. And this is just adding to that. If that was the only game that I was hyped for, played day one, Houston, we have a fucking problem here.
I mean, think about that, right? What was I hyped for this year? I mean, Expedition 33 was definitely a surprise, right? That is a fantastic game. But if you think about it, when we look at these consoles, right? We have these consoles, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. You look at them and you're like, these catalogs fucking suck. But he's right. I mean, and one of the things like I wanted to discuss when it came to like the Halo specifically is that what I mean by that is the lack of story, the lack of innovation. I feel like all games give a shit about now are graphics, and it's the same exact fucking story.
Yeah.
It really is, and nothing is changing. And if you think about that, Mark, the past decade, right, we've had so many games, and I feel like they've just hollowed out, or they're just walking simulators.
I'm looking at you, fucking Sony.
They are the biggest culprit.
And just to sort of slightly bitch about Sony, it was like their exclusives PS3 and PS2 era was like, damn, this is like variety. Like you can find anything you want here. Now it's like walking simulator, fucking QuickTime events. Like the only slight exception to this would possibly be the Spider-Man games, but it's just like, I don't know, the formula for Spider-Man 2 was perfected 20 years ago, and like they're just kind of taking that and putting the modern tidings on it, if you will, including the fucking QuickTime events. But yeah,
I mean, look at the state of these games now that we're more excited for remakes, because it's interesting what Mark said, right? The game that he was excited for was a fucking remake, a great game, but it was a remake. That tells you something. That actually is the truth with me too. Back in 2023, I was more excited for the RE4 remake, Resident Evil 4 remake, than anything else.
The main reason I fucking loved it was because of like the quality of life improvements to the gameplay, but more importantly, the controls not sucking on like an Xbox One controller or a PS5 controller, because PS2 pressure sensitivity bullshit like did not translate to anything but the PS2 or PS3 controller. It's a remake. This is the only thing I'm fucking hyped on. Everything else either just looks the same, I have no interest, or maybe, just maybe, I've turned into the crotchety old motherfucker who is not happy with anything.
But the thing is, like, I don't feel that you know what it is? Maybe, right? Because that's just how we've gotten in our like older age. But I feel like we just demand more because the gaming industry has developed, but their storytelling just fucking has not.
It hasn't. And then it's like the only other game that actually has my curiosity piqued is the Halo 1 remake.
Oh, man.
And it's like,
that is something that I know this is your podcast, but this is something that I wanted to ask you, Mark. Oh. What are your thoughts on the Xbox mascot? Because that's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it like it is. Master Chief coming to the PlayStation.
Oh, God. I'm going to pretend this Pepsi is beer right now.
I had to ask this.
In a sense, I am not a console fanboy because I don't give a shit too much, in a sense. I only start to care when the consoles like start to make the games play like shit, which is why I trashed like the last generation. But it is a fucking acid trip to see Halo now coming to PlayStation, because that was like the game that made you buy an Xbox.
Yeah.
And, you know, Halo did sort of experiment with leaving the Xbox with the original PC ports of 1 and 2. They weren't necessarily the best. You had to do some fan fixes to get them less shitty, if you would, mostly from a control perspective. But they were totally serviceable ways to play those two. MCC gets ported to PC, does fucking well. It's honestly my preferred way to play it because Halo with a mouse and keyboard is smooth as fuck, even if it does kind of brick the AI a little bit because they're really more tuned for like joystick gaming and all that shit. So you're kind of playing on God mode in a way if you're going below heroic. And to a degree, you could argue, oh, it's on PC, Windows, Microsoft. It's still going to Billy G. It's going to fucking PlayStation?
I know.
Like even going into Walmart and seeing Gears of War in the PlayStation case, I'm like, what fucking timeline is this? Like, I'm happy that the Sony ponies can actually finally play a competent shooter, but this is an acid trip. This was how you started fights in the playground. No, I actually remember having an argument with some of my friends in lunch in junior high. So this was like 7th or 8th grade about PS3 versus 360. And this was what we were talking about, the fucking games. Now it's like, oh yeah, it doesn't fucking matter, which is great for the consumer, but it's also like, the fuck's the point of these things anymore?
I know. It's like fighting a war for so long and then realizing you didn't even have to be there in the first place, right? That's the equivalent.
This also has me slightly concerned because it's like, okay, well, Microsoft's kind of like shooting themselves in the foot for over a decade. Sony's getting complacent. Nintendo's kind of doing their own thing and rolling in fucking money. Where's the competition at?
I agree. The problem is that competition has subsided. One thing I don't understand, and maybe you'll have an answer to this because I'm fucking lost. I mean, obviously seeing Gears of War Reloaded, right, on the PlayStation and stuff. How is it that Microsoft is giving Sony all of this shit, but Microsoft isn't receiving like the God of Wars? I think it got Helldivers 2 Xbox recently.
Yes, Helldivers 2 did come to the Series X and S. It was also released on Steam before that. But the thing is like Helldivers is, in terms of player count, more of like a PC-centered game, if you will, if that makes any sense. It sounds incredibly weird if you're not in the know, but it's like when you look at the player count, it's like, oh, just some simple division here. And it's like, okay, this makes sense.
Right.
So Sony's saying, oh yeah, Helldivers, we kind of don't care. It's a PlayStation IP and that like Sony owns the rights to it. Not like you think of John Helldiver, you immediately think Sony in the same sense you would like Kratos or Nathan Drake or whoever the fuck was in The Last of Us, because I never fucking played that game.
Joel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, and it's like, should Sony games come to Xbox? I mean, it would be kind of cool.
I just don't understand why they're giving all of their shit to Sony. Are they just admitting defeat? Is that what this quote unquote console war, is it finally over?
Is it finally over? I hope it's not, because I mean, there was some really good competition 20 years ago. Like when it was between the PS3 and the 360, when the PS3 first came out, the 360 curb stomped it in terms of the catalog, the online experience, like to a degree. Like the PS3 did have the backwards compatibility edge, but that ended up biting the PS3 in the foot with the reliability. Then the Red Ring of Death came out, kids, and this was this was not a fun time to be an Xbox gamer.
No, it wasn't.
Then eventually, Microsoft started going down the stupid path with the Kinect. Sony got their shit together, and the PS3 did end up overtaking the 360 in sales just fucking slightly, but they goddamn competed. I mean, fuck, Sony like even did the PlayStation Move. It was basically a Wiimote with the fucking dildo ball on top. Like,
yeah, well, I think competition, and I think you could agree with me on this, it breeds creativity.
Oh, it absolutely breeds creativity, because if you got one guy doing one thing, then another guy doing another thing, they're gonna be like, oh, I can do that, but better, or I can do it like this.
And I think the best representation of Xbox that I thought of was it reminded me of the late great Toys R Us, right? Toys R Us spread themselves too fucking thin. It's almost like getting too close to the sun and then falling, right? They made a Kids R Us, a toy. This is like what Microsoft did. They started doing all these weird things while PlayStation just focused on the games to a degree.
Yes. Now, granted, I think, and you would probably have a better answer for this than me, because I kind of fell off the PS4 like after I got into the PC side around 2017-18. Eventually, Sony's advantage with the sheer variety of exclusives they had went down the window when they started focusing on like a few specific franchises and nothing else.
My response to that would be completely yes. The thing I have with Sony is they focus on like 4 IPs and then they don't give a shit about the rest. The rest are shelved. Think about it. I'm not saying that, and again, I know giving Rockstar is probably a shitty example considering they own like 20 IPs and they make one. But what I will say is we got Red Dead Redemption 2. That may be one of the greatest games of this generation. I'll say it right here on this podcast because I don't think most would disagree, but we're probably not getting another one anytime soon because all they give a shit about is GTA 6.
Which is absolutely fair because that's also been like in the wait for God knows how many fucking years.
Almost as long as Duke Nukem Forever took.
At this point, you might be right.
I think it's close. It's funny, and I got a question for you. This is a big one. What is your thoughts on this new Steam machine that they just announced out of the blue?
Oh, Gabe Ben's Gabe Cube. This has me so fucking curious because, like, part of like the reason why we even have like Sony games on PC now is because of how much it exploded in the last like 10 years or so. Partially because like PC gaming has gotten less user intensive compared to how it was like 20 years ago, where you like really needed to like know your shit. A lot of things are just plug and play now, to an extent. But it exploded. So obviously Microsoft, like, they see money, they chase it. Sony follows suit. So it's like, okay, the Steam Deck, it's like I don't have one, but like the thought, I can see why it appeals to people. It makes absolute sense. And then I think there were people that were using it in a sense like a docked Switch.
Because you can. I do have a Steam Deck.
Oh, how is it?
I actually do like it a lot. The fact that you could like you can get like the Xbox Game Pass and stuff on it. Like they claim that you can't, but I'm going to be realistic here. That's how I was playing Gears of War Reloaded, was on my Steam Deck when I was up in PA. And
that just completely negates the reason to buy an Xbox. So it's like, so with that, if you have a Steam Deck and you have like the Game Pass and everything hooked up, and you also have like some of the Sony exclusives that come through like the Steam store, what reason do you have to buy a PlayStation 5 if you don't have one? And now if you're looking at the Steam machine, do you really have a reason to buy one of them anymore?
I'm going to be honest. I think it's just for people's efficiency. I don't want to say the word lazy because it's definitely not lazy, but I think people just don't want to go ahead and like, they don't want to have to do more. They don't want to like set up a PC. They don't want to do the extra stuff that like me and you would do. It's just easy to come home, turn on your TV, press the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox and do it. I think it's all conveniency.
Oh, it absolutely is. Because there have been days where there's that little part of me that's like, I want to play a game. Do I feel like dicking around on the computer? Not really. But then sometimes I end up doing it. Sometimes I don't. I just put my ass in a chair and just watch fucking whatever for the end of the night. Or depending on your setup, like this is what I did. A long ass HDMI wire that runs from your PC to your TV and either a long ass controller wire or Bluetooth is like, oh yeah, I don't need a console now, bitch.
Well, speaking of consoles, because this is something I feel like one of us, it's like the dark horse in the room because we've been talking about how these consoles, you know, they're selling so effing well, but honestly, there's nothing to show for it. My question is, did you see PlayStation 5 has blown all other consoles over all periods of time out of the water by being the most sold console, I think, ever?
I don't think it was ever. I still think the PS2 technically holds that,
Well,
but it's
yeah,
close.
But it's ridiculous
It's getting
how close it
up
is.
there, and it's like, I'm baffled. I'm truly baffled. It's like, how? What games are there to play that you can only play on a PlayStation 5? And either one of two things. People are just buying it for the sake of having it, or there's a lot more motherfuckers that buy this shit just to play the latest iteration of fucking Madden than I knew existed. Because I can't justify, like, how or why. Comments, please let me know how you can justify the price of a PlayStation 5. I will not rip you a new asshole. I am just genuinely bamboozled right now.
But the one thing I will say is for that, look at how much Microsoft's consoles went up because of like certain things.
Like economic shenanigans.
Yeah. Like I looked online the other day, right? And it was $649.99. I'm not even joking. And that was Target. I checked GameStop. $649.99 for the all black, looks like a fucking essential oil diffuser, Xbox Series X.
Bro.
Are you kidding me?
Like
$1,000? Nearly $1,000 with like what the fuck are we looking at here, Mark?
We are looking at huge heaps of bullshit. Now, in Billy G's defense, it wasn't their fault. They did not anticipate this. They're reacting to unforeseen literal bullshit. Are people willing to pay that? I would wager maybe, but mostly no. The only reason I say maybe is because people did buy the PlayStation 5 Pro.
You know, and one thing I wanted to discuss, and, you know, we're talking about consoles raising prices. We have to talk about the games, too. And I'm not talking about this generation of games. I'm talking about games we grew up with.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm opening up that fucking can of worms.
Thank you for opening the can of worms, sir, because, we got some shit to fucking say.
Let's talk for a second. The fact that I have to pay nearly $300 for a copy of Silent Hill or Earthbound, just the cartridge alone being $400. Are you fucking joking?
In Earthbound's defense, it was always one of those cases where it's expensive as fuck. I remember even in high school looking around for it when I had no job, no money, and I thought a mullet was a good idea in 2012. It was expensive.
Damn.
It always was. The Super Nintendo RPGs were always at like the upper end. I think Chrono Trigger and FF6 and 4 and Mario RPG are on the lower end, but they always were because they actually didn't sell too well over in the States. It was only time passes and people want to fucking play them. However, not every game that's expensive as balls is worth the price. I could like make the argument for, yeah, Earthbound's expensive, but it's kind of worth it aside from like supply, demand, and all that shit. It's a good fucking game.
Sure.
There's some games that are expensive as balls, and they're not worth the fucking dryer lit in my basement. Cough, cough, Futurama, cough, cough.
I mean, he's right. Think about it. Futurama. You guys could fact check us, whether it's the Xbox version or the PlayStation 2 version. That shit is how much now?
I think I saw a PS2 complete in box for like $2, $3 or something like that.
And the game sucks ass.
Playing the game is terrible. The cutscenes are brilliantly written and voice acted because that's like the one good thing about it. The game itself is fucking terrible. I am not the kind of guy who actually has his gamer rage moments, but this motherfucker got me pissed on Thanksgiving after I stuffed my face with turkey and potatoes. That's how fucking bad it is.
It is. And if we could even talk about Nintendo for a second, because People fucking shit on the GameCube when it first came out for a very long time, right? Like it just didn't feel like a GameCube console. Me, it's one of my favorites. I personally love it. And now if you're trying to collect GameCube games, bro, you better make sure you're a CEO of some fucking company.
It is insane to me how, like, okay, like, yeah, there was always like the older kids shit on the GameCube because they're the older kids. Because that's what you do when you turn into the older kids. You shit on what the younger kids like. That's just the cycle of it. But you're sitting here telling me that like Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is going for what? Like $60, $70?
Well, when the movie came out, it went over $100.
Was that for the Dreamcast or for the GameCube?
It was both.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
No, it was both because it was just such a hot commodity. When Sonic 3 came out, it went up like $40 for all versions.
That is bullshit. And it's like, I know there's technically limited quantities. It's whatever however many copies were printed, sold, survived. I get it. But there's a part of me that's going, why?
Why is this like this is and honestly, you know, when the pandemic happened, you know, we won't go into that too much, but when the pandemic happened, people started collecting rather than playing. And I think that collectors, right? And look, I'm a collector. I do love collecting games, but I also enjoy playing what I own. And I feel like people just took so much time to sit there and collect things that the market skyrocketed. If you look over in the Japanese market, you look over in the PAL version, right? In European, these games are not even close to the price for the North American.
No, they are not. And to bring that back around to my honest to God, the biggest pet peeve I have with this whole fucking thing. I was able to get a copy of Japanese Green for Pokemon.
Pokemon, yeah.
I think it was $10, maybe 15 or 20.
Those games were never cheap. But I think Pokemon has never been cheap.
No, they were not like dirt cheap, like, oh, this is your shovelware, like NES game cheap. Yeah. But I'm going to sit here and say it right now. These games sold millions. Right. Like, there is no shortage of copies on this earth. They exist. Now, some have been lost to time, mostly in the Game Boy era, because save batteries, capacitors. The high school bully takes your fucking cartridge and he shoves it up his ass. Like, it's going to happen.
Yeah, probably 10 of them would fall out when he stood up.
Exactly. But you're telling me the game that every kid had on the playground, I don't care what generation it is this much? Are you fucking kidding me? And the gen there's two gens that actually get me pissed the most. Gens 1 and 2, because it's like, this was grade school. This was the height of Pokemania because we were alive for that, kids. Yeah, we all had that shit. We smuggled them into grade school. Teachers got mad. But you know what's even more infuriating? The DS era, specifically Heart Gold, Soul Silver, because I remember every single kid in a lot of my classes had the Pokewalker on them every fucking day.
They did.
And how much is just the, like, you know, DS? It's not even just like the loose cartridge, but like, oh, congratulations, you got the clamshell case. $120 fucking dollars. I'm sorry, bitch. What?
Billy Hatcher? Billy Hatcher is $100.
Dude, and I felt like I overpaid when I got it a couple of years ago, and it was like $60, and it was just a disc in the case.
But that's what I mean.
Like, it's a great game. It's got a lot of charm. I need to play it.
It's by Team Sonic.
But it's like, you're kidding me, right?
You got to be joking with these prices.
Like, and it's like, look, I get it. There's a limited supply. These games aren't being made anymore. Like, the closest you'll get is like the reproduction for like the actual cartridge games, not the disc-based ones. But, guys, really, look, supply is like limited. Demand, it varies. But it's like, at least for the games that sold like hotcakes and every kid on the playground had, take these high prices, shove them so far up your ass, they are coming out your fucking throat, and my foot is going on them. Because this is bullshit.
He's passionate about it, but he has every right to be, guys, because the gaming market, I feel like it's getting a little bit better recently. I don't know if Mark will attest to that, but when we were really hunting, like when I was hunting, because I'll be the first to admit it, I was definitely an impulsive buyer, even when I didn't want to be. Like, I bought a lot of the shit that I really was nostalgic to me, with like my connecting with my dad, and like we grew up playing, and I loved it. I loved every second of it, right? And I think one thing me and Mark wanted to talk about was like what I do over on my channel, and I do a lot of like challenge runs, like no save, no damage, and really cover a lot of horror content. Like, I cover a lot of Resident Evil and Silent Hill and stuff like that, which I didn't mention, but I wanted to. And I think it's just important to understand that, like, these games that I'm talking about, like, you have to spend nearly $100 for RE1. It's $70 for RE2. You want these games for the fucking Dreamcast? Well, then you better be a mechanic, or you better be something that makes a lot of money. I'm telling you right now.
And these aren't like,
It's
you
not.
know, hard to find games.
They're
These are
not.
games like I think I remember my one
They're really not.
cousin having, and maybe a couple other people
Yes.
when we were
Yeah,
kids.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like these aren't like rare. It's like greed.
It's the greed, and it's how popular the franchise is. That's what you got to think. It's either a low. This is how I think of it, Mark. These games are a lot of money if there's a small supply of them, or they're like such a big time like original version of the game. Like, how the fuck is Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut $100? To me, it just doesn't make sense. I love the game, but come on, let's be realistic here. You know, we don't want to sound like these old fucking men, but it is the truth. When we used to grow up with these games and we had to pay full price at like a Toys R Us, the R Zone, or we had to go to Babbage's or GameStop or EB Games, you know, and we weren't old enough to buy this fucking shit, and you know, we got it anyway. Seeing these games be double the price, what has this market become? And people are like manipulating it and taking advantage of it, and I don't think that's good.
No, it's honestly not, because this actually broke my heart a little bit with the Pokemon aspect, because God willing, hell freezes over, find the right woman, get married, have a kid. One thing I would love to do, get them their own Game Boy, get them their own Pokemon. I will grab my old shit, I will throw a fresh battery in, we will start a journey together, give them some items and, you know, help them along and shit, do the trading and just go along together, father and son or daughter, depending on how the swimmers go. But then when I think about the price of Game Boys, the price of Pokemon, it's like, ... Can I justify this on top of diapers, baby food,
And just
like,
lively stuff.
Exactly. And it's like, ... You greedy ass motherfuckers.
And I think one last thing I'll say, right, is when I one day do have a child, I think it's very important to show them the shows and movies and stuff we grew up with, because that's really the biggest part of our childhoods, like the Disney movies, right, the 2D style artwork and stuff. I think a lot of the shit that's coming out now, I'm going to just say it, there's some things that are fantastic, some things are just straight garbage. And I think that enriching them in the childhood that we had with the stuff that we loved will give them a bit more appreciation.
Oh, it absolutely would. Like, I think definitely one of the few things that I look back on my childhood quite fondly of is when my mom would dig out some of the movies that she didn't necessarily watch as a kid, but like she watched as she was like older, and maybe she shouldn't have showed me my sister Spaceballs when we were like not in junior high.
That's a classic.
Like, you know, it's like those older things that came before your time, you just have an appreciation for because they're timeless. Like, actually, not even Spaceballs, Back to the Future. Like, that wasn't like new when we were kids. That was like a decade, almost 2 decades old.
It was probably like around a decade, because like, honestly, because we were born in the 90s.
Yeah, we were like in the 90s. That was like the late 80s, like mid to late 80s. Yeah, no. And it's like, no, and you have to give the kids an appreciation for sort of what came before and kind of get the little gears in their heads turning.
And I think it's just very important. I think our parents did that for us, showing us a lot of stuff. I think we have to do it for this generation too, because there's just, again, like, I'm not knocking the Fortnites. I mean, Minecraft is a legendary game, and I think it deserves that status because it's really revolutionized a lot. But you got the Fortnites, the Roblox, the this, the that. I know kids and stuff love it now, but they just don't remember what it's like to play a story-based single-player game and like it.
So, Mr. Notorious, I will have your shit linked in the description, but for those listening, where can they find you?
You can find me over at YouTube at Notorious Base. Again, guys, we have playlists on the channel. Thank you so much, Mark, for having me, of course. The playlists, they have all different games, all different challenge runs. We make a bunch of shorts over there, comedy stuff, randomizers. You can find me at youtube.com/NotoriousSpace. So thank you.
Hey, dude, it's brother from another mother. We've been itching to do this for years. I've been itching to do this for a very long time.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. So, and y'all know where to find me on the Brainworms of Mark. That is Mark's Brainworms or Brainworm Mark. I forgot which fucking one was the handle, but you can figure it out.
Pretty sure it's Mark's Brainworms.
No, I think it's Brainworm Mark for the handle. I don't fucking remember.
We'll find it.
I'm 31, but I feel 61. Shan, help! Leave any feedback in the comments below. If whether you love this, you hated this, you want to tell us to jump off a fucking bridge in front of a train. I don't give a shit. Let us know you listen.
Yes. What he said, definitely leave any thoughts and engagement comments in the comment section below. We would love to discuss with you guys, and we will be active in the comment section. Thanks again.
Oh, I will be watching them comments like a hawk, and we will see you guys next time for episode 1. To my right, or in front of me, is someone who I consider a brother from another. Fuck. I'm not drinking. I fucking swear to Christ. There's going to have to be outtakes at the end of each episode now.
Fuck, yeah.